What's up, everyone, and welcome to another episode of the JuiceBox presented by Lock City. It's Trey here with you again today. Hope that you guys are having a great start to the week. It was a pretty good Monday overall here in Lock City, and we hope that you join us so that you can keep cashing and growing in your betting ways with us. If you haven't joined Lock City, let me tell you a little bit about it. You can join our premium tier Discord at wap.com/LockCity for just $5 per month. And this will get you access to every cheat sheet every day across all active major sports, access to premium picks from all 9 of our pro cappers, and tons of sports specific and stat specific data points on a daily basis to help you become a better sports bettor. That's wap.com/LockCity, and it'll get you instant access for only 16 cents a day, including picks in my channel, which is now called Trey's Plays. We were up yesterday really big. We had a first pitch home run from Edouard Julien, and we also cashed a whole bunch of balls and strikes yesterday, going 6-4 overall and up just over 5 units. We're looking at possibly closing out a 50-unit month here in April if we have 2 more good days. So get in while the getting's good. Lots of other cappers having success. Claw has been dialing in on MLB. Bobby Digital and Lenny, man, they've been cashing some huge lottos lately. Whitey and Munn's always killing it in UFC, and Whitey with CS2, and that comes back here in a little bit. His MLB picks have also been super sharp. So come on in, check us out. $5 a month, 16 cents a day. Doesn't really get much better than that. All right, yesterday in the MLB, we had a short slate, but it was a pretty good one. Some good games to watch there overall. And as an Orioles fan, we'll start there because I was pretty darn happy when that game was over. Tomo Sugano was lights out getting the win for the Orioles yesterday. He struck out, I believe it ended up being 8 Yankees, which is crazy for him because he isn't really a strikeout guy, or wasn't looking like he was going to be a strikeout guy. But man, did he get the job done. Ryan O'Hearn with a 3-run home run, and then, man, we got to see the mountain come in at the end for the save. What a fun game to watch there. The afternoon game with the Nats and the Mets, that was a little bit of a weird one. Lots of offense in this one. 19-5 is the final there. The Mets take the win in that one. And we did cash the first leg of our JuiceBox Lock in that game. James Wood got a hit, and it wasn't just a hit, it was a home run, so we also cashed the sprinkle on that one. The Twins take down the Guardians 11-1, and Ober picks up his third win of the year. Gavin Williams picking up his second loss. The Cardinals lose to the Reds 3-1, and unfortunately, this is where our JuiceBox Lock of the day died. We could not get that hit that we needed from Brendan Donovan. He went 0 in this one, and fortunately, that was all she wrote on that one. He had a couple of good contacts, but they were kind of up on the label. They weren't barrels, and we needed him to really barrel one up and punch one through for us. We'll get it back today. Elsewhere, the Athletics beat the Rangers. The Athletics are now 15-14, and the Rangers 15-14. Patrick Corbin had a pretty good game, but he did give up some hits, and those hits turned into 2 runs in the 5th, and that was enough for the Athletics to take the win there in Texas. The Astros beat the Tigers after coming back late in the game and surging to the win. Jack Flaherty picks up his 3rd loss on the year, despite only a 3.3 ERA. Continues to struggle to finish those games out when they need him the most. The Braves beat the Rockies 6-3. The Rockies are now 20 games below 500, 4-24, and they are an almost automatic fade every single day. Bryce Elder picking up his win, their first one on the year for him. In the nightcap, the Dodgers hold off the Marlins. 6-7 is the final there, and the Marlins made that close. They put up 5 spot in the 6th inning, including a home run. It was not just a home run. It was a grand slam in the 6th inning from Dane Myers. But in the end, Tommy Edman punches one through, and the Dodgers walk it off for the win. So that was our Monday short slate. We'll be getting into our Tuesday MLB slate here next. As always, I'll be using my favorite MLB research platform, sheet.today/MLB. That is the website for daily sheets where you can find coverage of every single game. You will get top player projections in a bunch of different categories, including hits, homers, RBIs, runs, walks, steals, strikeouts, earned runs allowed, walks allowed, pitcher outs recorded, nerfy, yerfy, you name it. It is in here. You also will get full game breakdowns, including projections in major categories for every player in the projected lineup, current streaks for the major offensive stats, and also matchup history for the batters versus the pitchers. It is a really comprehensive, dense, but easy to use tool, and we encourage you to check it out. So go ahead and take a look. Sheet.today/MLB is the website. And again, that brings you over to Daily Sheets where you can find all this information for yourself. So let's go ahead and dive on into today's MLB slate. We're getting things started at 6:10 in Cleveland. The Guardians are hosting the Twins. The Guardians are minus 155 favorites in this one, and the total is set at 8 runs. On the mound for the Twins, Chris Paddack, and on the hill for the Guardians, Tanner Bibby. Chris Paddack is sporting a 6.45 ERA at this point in the season. Tanner Bibby also struggling a little bit with a 5.19 ERA. This could be a game where we see some offense. Not a ton of matchup history here, but Carlos Correa has seen Bibby 17 times, and he's 6 for 17. That's 353. But he does have 7 strikeouts against the right-hander. On the other side, not a significant enough history to really take seriously versus Paddack. Some current streaks in this game to keep an eye on. Carlos Correa has been on a 4-game hit, 3-game total base streak. Trevor Larnach, 4-game hit streak. Ty France, 3-game hit, total base, and RBI streak. He's scored in the last 4. For the Guardians, not a lot of hit streaks. Gabriel Arias is the only one really leading the way here with a 4-game hit and total base streak. He's also scored in the last 4. And then 2-game hit streaks for Jose Ramirez, Kyle Manzardo, and Carlos Santana. Next up in Baltimore, the Orioles host the Yankees. The total in this game is set at 10, and the Yankees are minus 155 favorites. On the mound for the Yankees is Carlos Rodon, and making his debut with the Orioles again is Kyle Gibson. They are bringing back the veteran, and this is his first start on the year for the right-hander. He had a little bit of a late addition to the team, so he missed a good chunk of spring training and has been completing his ramp up in Double and Triple A. So we'll have to see how he is ready to go. He has faced this good portion of this Yankee lineup in the past. Jazz, Austin Wells, and Paul Goldschmidt are the only 3 who have really hit Kyle well, but it's just a matter of how sharp he is at this point in the season, ramping up a little bit late. On the other side, the Orioles, right, are known to struggle against the left-handed hitters, and part of that is who knows what lineup Brandon Hyde is going to be putting out there. Jorge Mateo and Ryan Mountcastle have both done really well off of Carlos Rodon, but the rest of the lineup has limited history, and that limited history is in the red, which means they have struggled against the left-hander. I would wait to lock anything in for Orioles props until you see this left-hander. I would also be wary of backing the birds in this one. If we get a crazy lineup from Hyde, this would be a spot to definitely smash on the Yankees, though I personally won't be putting any of my money on there because I hate betting against my own team. That's just me. I guess I hate money. Gunnar Henderson for the Orioles is on a 4-game hit and total base streak. See if he can keep that going. Left-on-left matchup today. On the other side, Anthony Volpe is on a 4-game hit and total base streak. He's also scored and knocked in an RBI in yesterday's game. Austin Wells is on a 4-game hit and total base streak. He's also knocked in a run in the last 4, so he's been a hot spot in their lineup. The Cardinals are at the Reds in Cincinnati. 6:40 start at Great America Ballpark, and the total in this one is set at 9.5. The Reds are minus 135 favorites. On the mound for the Cardinals, Mike Mikolas, and for the Reds, Brady Singer. Mike Mikolas has struggled to start the year with an ERA of 5.7 and allowing walk or hit at a rate of 1.52 per inning. He's only averaging a K per 9 of 4.9, so he's not going to be a guy to probably strike out too many here today, especially against this Reds lineup, which has a lot of really good matchup histories. Spencer Steer is 500 with a home run. Gavin Lux, 400 with a home run. Ellie De La Cruz is hitting 364. Friedel, 5 for 14, 357 with a homer. Matt McLean and Noel V. Marte are both 333 in their limited at-bats against the right-hander. On the other side, Wilson Contreras is the only one with matchup history versus Brady Singer, and he's 1 for 2. For the Reds, we have Brady Singer projected as 17.1 outs recorded and expect him to have a pretty good game here. He's projected with just 5.7 strikeouts according to our numbers, though he's averaging 6 on the year and has covered his strikeout line 80% of the time. In terms of some current streaks, on the Cardinals side, Nootbaar is on a 4-game hit total base and run streak. Wilson Contreras, 10-game hit streak. Brendan Donovan lost his streak yesterday. On the Reds side, Elly De La Cruz has covered his total bases in the last 4. Austin Hayes has scored a run in the last 4. Gavin Lux on an absolute tear, 12-game hit streak, 3-game total base streak. And Noelvi Marte, 4-game hit total base and RBI streak for the Reds. Elsewhere, Pirates are hosting the Cubs in Pittsburgh, 6:40 start. Total here is set at 8.5, and the Cubs are minus 155 favorites in this one. They have Shota Manga on the mound versus Andrew Heaney. Another left-on-left matchup here today in this one. Shota Manga has shut down this Pirates lineup once. He has really good matchup history in his one start versus the majority of this lineup, with Tommy Pham being the only player to really get the bat to the ball consistently on him, going 2 for 3. But I wouldn't put it past Shota to have figured him out and maybe shut him down today. On the other side, Andrew Heaney has been off to a really good start for the Pirates in his new uniform. He's sporting a 1.72 ERA, and he has some history versus a few of these guys who have been in the league for a while. Justin Turner is 5 for 19. That's just 263, but he does have 2 home runs lifetime. He's also been able to shut Kyle Tucker down. He's 1 for 13, but that one hit was a home run. So it'll be interesting to see which lefty gets the victory in this one. Active streaks going on in this one. Not a whole lot on the Cubs side, but Ke'Bryan Hayes for the Pirates is on an 8-game hit streak, and Isaiah Kiner-Falefa, 3-game hit total base streak. He's also has a steal in his last game. The Nationals are in Philly, short trip north for them, and that is a 6:45 start. The total in this game is set at 8.5, and the money line is 192 in favor of the Phillies. On the mound, Mackenzie Gore for the Nats, and the Phils have Zach Wheeler on the mound. About a 3.5 ERA for both pitchers here, with the matchup history favoring the Phillies in this one. Mackenzie Gore has seen a lot of these Phillies hitters over the years, being in the same division, and there's about 6 or 7 guys here that have positive matchup history. Weston Wilson is hitting 667 with a homer. Edmundo Sosa, 333 with a homer. Castellanos, 318 with 2 home runs. Alec Boehm, 263 with a homer. On the other side, Zach Wheeler has seen a good portion of this lineup before as well. And the one name, maybe 2 names really jumping out here. Kybert Ruiz, 8 for 27. That's 296 with 3 homers. And Josh Bell hitting 292 with 4 homers off the right-hander. In yesterday's game for the Nats, it kind of was a blowout, and they got a little bit of offense going late in that blowout. But that meant that a few guys stayed hot. C.J. Abrams continues his hit streak. He's on a 4-game hit and total base streak. James Wood went deep yesterday, and he's on a 4-game hit streak, 4-game total base streak. Dylan Cruz, 4-game hit and total base streak as well. On the side of the Phillies, Nick Castellanos is on a 4-game hit, 3-game total base streak. And JT Realmuto on a 3-game hit streak. He is on the up and up. 7:05 start in Tampa. The Rays are hosting the Royals. 8.5 is the total in this one. The Rays are minus 155 favorites. Michael Lorenzen on the mound for the Royals and Taj Bradley for the Rays. Michael Lorenzen sporting a 3.9 ERA to start the year, and Taj Bradley a 5.1. Limited matchup history here in both pitchers. Not a lot jumping off the page here for either one. In terms of some current streaks, the Royals lineup has really kind of struggled to produce a ton of runs at times this year, so we have a bunch of 1-game streaks. Bobby Witt is on a 3-game total base streak here. Jonathan India is on a 2-game run streak. On the other side, Chandler Simpson is off to a good start. He's on a 2-game hit and total base streak. He's also stolen a base in the last game. Brandon Lowe is on a 3-game hit and total base streak. And Junior Caminero, he is on a 5-game hit streak. The Red Sox are in Toronto, 7:07 start at the Rogers Center. Total in this one is set at 8, and the Red Sox are minus 162 favorites with Garrett Crochet on the mound versus this Jays offense. Crochet has seen some of these guys before in 1 or 2 starts, and he shut down a good half of this lineup Some notable names with 0 fers. Vladimir is 0 for 6. Anthony Santander 0 for 6 with 4 strikeouts. Bo Bichette has managed 1 hit and 4 at-bats. George Springer, 1 hit and 4 at-bats, but that hit was a home run. The Red Sox don't know who they're facing yet. It's to be determined for the Blue Jays. So we'll have to wait and see on that one. Alex Bregman for the Sox is on an 8-game hit streak. Rafael Devers, 3-game hit streak, 3-game RBI and run streak as well for him. On the other side, George Springer's on a 4-game hit and total base streak. Alejandro Kirk, 2-game hit and total base streak. The D-backs are up in New York facing the Mets. Total here is set at 8.5, and the Mets are minus 148 favorites for this 7 o'clock game in Queens. Eduardo Rodriguez, the lefty, is on the mound for the D-backs, and David Peterson, the lefty, on the mound for the Mets. Our third lefty-lefty matchup of the day. This D-backs offense has just been electric, and they have some good splits against David Peterson. Pavin Smith is 3 for 4. Grichuk is 500. Lourdes Gurriel, 2 for 5 with a homer. Corbin Carroll, 1 for 3 with a homer. So I imagine this D-back offense is going to look to keep putting runs on the board. On the other side, the Mets put up a ton of runs yesterday, and sometimes that means that there's a little regression the next day. So we'll see if that offense stays hot, puts up a bunch of runs, or if they cool off a little bit today. Mark Vientos is on a 6-game hit streak for the Mets. Pete Alonso is also on a 3-game hit streak. Juan Soto on a 2-game hit streak. On the other side, Eugenio Suarez, he's on a 5-game hit, total base, and run streak for the D-backs. Corbin Carroll, Josh Naylor, and Geraldo Perdomo all got hits in their last game and are looking to stay hot in that D-back offense. The Brewers are at the White Sox, 7:40 start in Chicago, and the Brewers are minus 238 favorites. Total in this one set at 8.5. Freddie Peralta on the mound for the Brewers versus Bryce Wilson. Again, this is one of those games you can only really look at the other side. The Sox are just not that good. They're a little bit better maybe than they were, but it's tough to really get behind them. A couple names popping out in this game. William Contreras is on a 7-game hit streak, as well as Rhys Hoskins, who's also on a 7-game hit and total base streak. Christian Yelich is on a 4-game hit streak in this one. On the other side, Luis Robert, he's been quietly hot and productive for the Sox. He's on a 3-game hit and total base streak. He's also knocked in a run and stolen a base in the last 2. Brooks Baldwin on a 3-game hit streak as well, and Michael Vargas sitting at a 5-game hit and total base streak. Later in the night, 8:05 start in Texas. The Athletics are at the Rangers. The total in this one's 8.5. The Rangers are big favorites, minus 205, because they got Jason DeGrom on the mound tonight versus Jacob Lopez, the lefty for the Athletics. No matchup history for Lopez versus this Rangers lineup, but Jason DeGrom has seen a few of these guys in the lineup for the Athletics before, and some of their big names have had some production against him. Soderstrom went 2 for 3, Seth Brown 2 for 4, Langeliers 2 for 6 with a homer. Luis Urias is 2 for 8 with a homer in his history versus Jason DeGrom. So it'll be interesting to see which offense decides to pop off in this game tonight. The Tigers are at the Astros. The total in this one is set at 7.5, and the Astros are short favorites, minus 112. 8:10 start in this game. Reese Olson on the mound for the Tigers, and Ryan Gusto on the mound for the Astros. Both pitchers have been off to a good start for the year. Reese sporting a 3.29 ERA, and Ryan Gusto sporting a 2.78 ERA. No matchup history to really talk about in this one for these two lineups. In terms of some streaks, Dylan Dingler, the Dingler, he is on a 5-game hit and total base streak there for the Tigers. On the other side, Jeremy Pena is on a 3-game hit streak. Yordan Alvarez, 2-game hit streak. Yannier Diaz, 2-game hit and run streak. And Mauricio Dubon, 4-game hit streak. The Braves are at the Rockies. The Braves are minus 198 favorites, and the total in this one is set at 11. On the mound for the Braves is to be determined, but we know German Marquez will be on the mound for the Rockies, and man, has he just had a tough go of it this year. He's given up a ton of runs. He has an ERA right now of 9.3, and he's really just having a tough time. It's not easy to pitch in Colorado, and he has certainly not made it any easier on himself. This lineup has a lot of positive matchup history against him, including some guys who have gone deep. Marcell Ozuna, Orlando Arcia, and Ozzy Albies have all gone deep. Albies has gone deep twice and is hitting .364 against the right-hander. In terms of some streaks, Marcell Ozuna is on a 3-game RBI streak. Alex Verdugo, 2-game hit, total base, and RBI streak. Sean Murphy, 3-game hit and total base streak. And Eli White, the right fielder, has been on a 6-game hit, total base, and 5-game run streak. While on the other side, Jordan Beck continues to produce. He's been a nice call-up and addition for the Rockies in that lineup. He's on a 2-game hit streak as well. The Angels are in Seattle tonight, 9:40 start to kick off the late night games. Total in this one is set at 7.5, and the Mariners are -185 favorites at home. Jack Kachanowicz is on the mound for the Angels and Bryce Miller for the Mariners. Some limited matchup history in this one. A few of the bigger names for the Mariners have had a decent first go around with Kachanowicz. Raleigh, Rodriguez, both 2 for 2. Polanco and Crawford, 1 for 2. On the other side, the Angels lineup has seen Bryce Miller a little bit more. Taylor Ward is hitting .444 with a home run. Luis Rengifo, .333. But on the other side of that coin, Shane Newell is 0 for 5. Zach Neto 0 for 6. Joe Adell 0 for 6. So this might be a matchup that favors the Mariners pretty heavily. Zach Neto is the only one really on a big streak here in that Angels lineup. He's on a 4-game hit total base streak. And there are a lot of streaks going on. I could talk about almost everybody in the lineup for the Mariners right now. That offense is red hot. The Giants are in San Diego for a 9:40 game. The total in this game is set at just 6.5, and the Giants are slim favorites here on the road, -125. Logan Webb and Nick Pivetta on the mound. Both pitchers have been off to a great start this year with ERAs under 2. Logan Webb with a 1.98 and Nick Pivetta with a 1.2 ERA. Been absolutely awesome. This should shape up to be a pitcher's duel, but sometimes you feel like you say that and then you get nothing but explosive offenses. Logan Webb has some struggles here in that Padres lineup. Luis Ariz has always seen him well, 636, no home runs. Gavin Sheets, 625. Yuli Gurriel, 375 with a homer. Manny Machado, 344 with a homer. Connor Joe, 333. On the other side, limited at-bats versus Pivetta, but Yastrzemski has taken him deep in his 2 at-bats, one of the 2 times. Adames is hitting 375 and Flores 250. So it'll be interesting to see which offense there is able to get to the pitcher and put some runs on the board. The late night game, of course, is in LA. The Marlins are at the Dodgers, and they'll look to try to scare the reigning champs once again. The total in this one is set at 8.5, and the Dodgers are -192 favorites. Sandy Alcantara is on the mound for the Marlins. He has been a little bit bumpy to start the year with a 6.56 ERA and matchup history that certainly favors this Dodgers lineup. This is a game where I think you can only back the Dodgers. Mookie has taken him deep twice and is hitting .462. Mets Muncy, 353, 2 home runs. Eddie Rosario, 300 with a homer. Conforto, 276 with 3 home runs. 3 of his 8 hits have been home runs off of the right-hander. No Dodger pitcher listed yet, so we'll be curious to see who is getting on the mound there. Some streaks. Man, everybody in that Dodgers lineup is streaking right now. Andy Pages is on a 6-game hit tear. Teoscar Hernandez is on a 7-game hit tear with a 3-game home run streak. Freddie Freeman, 4-game hit streak as well. On the other side, some production that's going on there. We got some hit streaks from Jesus Sanchez, Xavier Edwards, Eric Wagaman, Matt Mervis, and Otto Lopez, all sporting a 2 or 1-game hit streak apiece. All right, this brings us to the best part of the pod where we will go ahead and take a look at our best bet of the day, what we call around here the JuiceBox Lock. We've been on a little bit of a slide after being red hot, and we need to turn it around. So we are going back to that game in Colorado. The Braves are at the Rockies. Big total in this game with some strong winds, and I expect that ball to possibly be moving in this ballpark today, and I expect with German Marquez on the mound, the Braves to be able to put up some big runs. So we're going right to their designated hitter in the middle of that lineup there in the 3 spot, Marcell Ozuna. And what we're going to do is we're going to run an RBI ladder. If you remember the last RBI ladder we played, we cashed it big time. That was Pete Alonso. We cashed all 3 legs of that and ended up with an over 6 unit day. We're going to go ahead and play 1.5 units on Marcell Ozuna to get 1+ RBI. That's available at plus 120 at MGM. And then we're going to play the ladder, 0.3 units on 2+ RBIs and 0.2 units on 3+ RBIs. Both of those are available for the best line at Fanatics. The 2+ RBIs is available at 340, and the 3+ RBIs is available at 950. I think he's the guy to get it done today. He's been producing. He's been averaging over in RBI in the last 10 games, and he's had an RBI in 6 out of the last 10 games. He also has a great matchup history here, hitting 400 with a home run off German Marquez, and I think this is the spot for us to get back in that win column today. Alrighty, well, thanks for hanging out with me. Again, this is Trey, part of Lock City. You can find me in Trey's Plays. Go ahead and join Lock City if you haven't already. WAP.com/Lock City for just $5 a month, 16 cents a day, and we'd be happy to have you. Also, you can follow me on social. You can find me on Twitter, or X, at Trey's Plays _. Be happy to talk baseball with you and interact with you a little bit there. All right, thanks for listening today. We will talk to you tomorrow. Peace.